chaos gardening? Is it the solution? Is it the answer? Is it the dream to having more time and still growing lots of food at home? How does it work? Is it really good for you? Is it beneficial for you? Does it work for you? And how to do it, plan accordingly, and create a chaos garden just like this. That I've got here at Martys Garden. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Marty Ware from Martys Garden. I live in Mullumbimby, northern New South Wales, Australia. I have a subtropical garden. I teach everything from temperate right through to subtropical to tropical vegetable gardening at home, and how to grow lots and lots of fresh food so you can put more on your kitchen plate every day. Now today we're here to talk about chaos gardening. Now, why is chaos gardening interesting? And you know, I just stumbled across it. I didn't even know it was called chaos gardening until really just recently. I just thought it was just, hey, this is how you do it and this is how you go for it. And you usually have a section that's creating a bit of chaos in your garden. And I just love that word. It's absolutely great. Now, chaos gardening is really, from what I know, from what I've just watched from other people's videos and stuff, it's just throwing out seed, just putting plants all over the place, and let's see what happens, right? Now, that could be a recipe for disaster, my friends. If you don't have good soil and you don't have a sort of a bit of a plan, things won't work out. And basically, if you're just throwing it straight on sand, they're going to dry out and die. You're just throwing it straight on heavy sort of clayey stuff, they're going to dry out and die. You've got to have some type of plan. And guess what? I do. And I'm going to show you how I've got my sort of chaos gardening. It's organised chaos actually, and it's a lot of fun. And at the same time, it's chaotically building soils below and getting ready to prepare another garden, on and on and on and on. So yep, it's organised chaos. Now, those who watch the channel a lot would know that this is my bale garden, and they watch it to see the updates and how quickly things are growing. Now have a look at this. This is a new leaf coming out. So that's only been out a few days. Look at the size of this leaf, which is one of the first leaves on my zucchini. And I've got some little zucchinis just starting there now. Absolutely brilliant. And underneath you can see all rocket and different things. You can see basil sort of hiding in here. Down under here you can see another plant. I'm just trying to get it on the shot there underneath. That's an okra sort of hiding under there, and that'll come up and grow through. And it's just getting a little bit of shade at the moment because these leaves are growing over in all the chaos. And also in the chaos are peas. I was going to say beans, but we've got beans growing in another section. So peas starting to flower up. They're just growing on these little poles here. And I just threw seeds in chaotically into here, and I just stuck them below the ground basically at around about the same height as the seed, and let them come up to start to grow. And as soon as I saw them, I put a couple little bamboo poles around so they could run up. Now it's pretty hot this time of year, so it's a bit tricky for growing peas. So the shade, they love it in a chaotic sort of style. And in here, we've got the choco. Yep, you've been watching the choco grow. Look how fast, since I've shown you about a week ago, it's gone from the bottom down here up to there in around about a week. Now, if you look down here into the soil profile, you can see the bales along the bottom here. They're breaking down. And turning it into soil at the same time. And right next to my chaotic garden, my chickens, and they're feeding the system. I can just throw this compost straight from here onto there and keep feeding that garden. It's all about feeding the garden at the time so we can keep an organised chaos. Now, what I do here, when I just plant like half a dozen plants accordingly, and then once everything's starting to settle in, I throw seed around. So I throw like a bit of rocket, I throw a little bit of purple basil, some other basil seeds, those type of things, and see what germinates. Now, you've got to have a nice friable soil for them to actually get into. If it's just heavy rocky ground, it's not going to work. So You can see my soil here is really good, and those who love soil biology, look at those mushrooms coming up. There's some underneath there, underneath the marigold. Look at those. They are absolutely just brilliant. Now up the side here, we have got more plants growing. Now, the key with chaotic gardening, and I'm going to let you in on the secret here, is we need to cover the ground. We don't want to have any sort of mass showing. We don't want to have any bare soil. And the reason being is because in nature, and they teach this a lot, and really good organic gardeners will teach you this, don't have bare soil. And even if you can, where you've got bare areas and you're covering it with mulch, try and get some roots in the ground. There are lots of studies showing now that sometimes it's better to leave a few weeds in the ground in those spots, because the sunlight is photosynthesizing on the leaves, sending down the sugars to the microbes and to the fungi and everything to feed, to create that soil web, which we're building here, to build and establish a strong, solid garden. Now, if we have a look here, we'll just go across with the top of my camera, and hopefully this is all getting everything in here. We can go across and come across this way. You can see there's hardly any space here in my garden. We'll go up and over here again. You can see I'm filling in all the spaces, and where I do have space, I'll throw in some legumes. I'll throw in some rocket. Depending on the time of year, I really like to throw in different brassicas as well, such as a bok choy, because they'll grow up and come up in little spots, and where there's little sort of ones that are too small or whatever, I'll just pull them out or cut them at the base, throw them to the chickens, and I've got lots more really fresh food. Now, this tomato plant come up all by itself beside one of the bales here, and what it done is it's just come up, and I've just tied it. I'm just tying it off to this trellis, and yep, there are some tomatoes down below, down in there, and it looks like it's a Roma, a cherry Roma, which you can't see real good. Well, one of them just fell off, but anyway, we'll give you a look at it. So cherry Roma, that'll probably go red if it just fell off like that. Hello girls, how's it going there? So we need a good friable soil, and what I do is I just throw down all my bales, or you can do like a no-dig system. You're just throwing compost down, you're throwing seed down, put a few plants in, so big plants that have big, nice, wide leaves, such as the zucchinis and things that will crawl along the ground, like the small potted cucumbers. Now, look at the size of that cucumber leaf. It's bigger than my hand. When you're building soils, you're building biology and you're feeding the soil. So by covering it all with as much as you can and allowing some plants to go, hey, some plants are going to succeed, some plants aren't. I'm going to be okay with that. I might have to come in and thin out a few little plants here and there to let others, such as that okra. I've thinned out around that a couple of times already, and it just keeps on getting covered over. So it may not survive our little okra down in here, but it's looking healthy. And if it gets a bit of a burst, it'll come up through here, or shoot up through here, and it'll be right up here, and I'll be able to tie it off to this one. Now these guys obviously have to be tied off soon. They need to be staked because they're going to get absolutely huge in here, and it's very, very exciting. So once I've got the bales down, I throw compost on top, and I just keep feeding it and throwing seeds and plants in it. I cut the plants off at the base. I very rarely pull them out unless they're very shallow. They come out accidentally and goes to the kitchen or goes to the chickens or into the compost or worm farms, everywhere. Nothing gets wasted here. We can then use everything we've got. And we've got to think about seasonal planting in our chaotic garden. And also it's very easy to maintain, doesn't take a lot of work, just a bit of thinning, bit of watering, and then just feeding on top. So you're never digging in a no-dig chaos garden. So we'll just quickly go around to the front garden now. I just want to show you a container garden. I want to show you something where I'm building another type of bale garden. And this is one way you can get your chaos garden started very, very quickly. Those who have been watching the channel know what's going on. So, but hang in there, guys, because that's the gate there. We got some really cool updates to show you how things are going and where we're going to be up to with, this is the cost of living Victory Garden, guys. It is absolutely just amazing. And all these pots actually don't have trays underneath them, and they can just leach down straight into the bales down below. And that's setting up a brand new system to become either another style of raised bed, no dig garden, which will become like another similar little chaos garden. I love that word, chaos garden, because it never really thought of it like that. Now it's getting a bit darker here as we come in, and we've got the tomato we're trellising up. We're about to trellis up all these plants that are growing really crazy along here, such as the sweet potato, which is going to take over this whole area. Needs to go up here and over here. Same with the pumpkin over there, and we will set that up. Now, if you're here at the end of the video, make sure you click on one of these other videos that are around here. Even check out the series if you like the idea about the Victory Garden, the cost of living Victory Garden. There will be some type of square around here that you can click on. That really helps my channel as well if you watch another video. We're really working on growing this and getting this out to a lot more people, helping more people save money at home and become more successful gardeners. If that sounds awesome to you, make sure you subscribe before you go, and we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.